Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
You think knowledge is a powerful weapon? Here, you'll have plenty of ammo. Look to science to solve problems? Wield a microscope to confront global threats.
Exactly what it used to be. So it makes for a lot more of a comfortable scenario for any sort of the defenders or attackers in this case of UAlbany.
kick it off. We take a look down towards mid for UAlbany. There'll be, of course, that Killjoy utility already mentioned, the alarm bot and market. So they're going to run straight into this one. Broken early, but known about. So the defensive rotation already coming through. 2 going to be towards CT. Pretty set up for this one already. No push through just yet, though. Waiting for that Omen utility. Now, that Dark Cover going to come through, and they'll send their way into the site. 2 players to hold it. Just looking for trades here. If you're Army West Point, the defensive end on the back of things. The CT Stair player already gone. Velocity, all the work to do to stop this push, and we'll find nothing. Gabe has that one as well. Nothing in terms of trades coming through. Army low numbers here as they look to get back into it.
Yeah, time ticking down. Spike has been planning. AWPE has to go for a retake. The Omen will be able to give away his position. Sal in a very powerful spot. Will be able to snag one head. Refrag by Doe. Now left to the 2v4. A lot of this utility favoring the attackers of UAlbany. Slowly pushing up. Larry trying to find their pick. Doe also in a phenomenal position trying to catch someone on the rotate out. But there's nothing that can be done as all of the kills will be collected by UAlbany as they snag the pistol round.
Yeah, they'll take the pistol round. It gets delivered straight to them, and well, they're happy to pick it up, jumping their way straight into sight. And it looked a little fishy for a moment just because that alarm bot came through so quickly. And that information was there. There's 2 players towards CT. They just never really get in far enough down towards the site. They're still looking at that cross angle, fighting for that long distance rather than being CT for a close contact play. Because they're so far away, it isolates those 2 players on site. And UAlbany, even though it's a very late split execute, still finds a value in that dark cover. CT also helps with making sure players can't get into what is that CT stair cross. So the defensive side, good efforts, go to the rotate, but no Meggy. So we'll see if that's different going into this one. It's the push up mid yet again. And I like that from UAlbany. You recognize the fact we just won mid. Hey, well, let's go back to what's going to work for us. Alarmbot's been moved. It's like it's not even on the map this round. So they've got mid market already. This split could come right back on its way.
Yeah, great teamwork on the side of UAlbany. They're really using each other's utility to push right in. Door being closed almost immediately. They have the ability to push up. Sal does not have much utility returning, but they'll just blast right on into sight. 2 huge kills as they are able to secure the site for the plant. They're going to be able to have their haunted 20 seconds, which will ensure that they can now initiate yet another gunfight with only 3 of the defenders remaining with post-spike action.
Poisonous Tar gonna find one, so that is a nice little eco frag. It's the paranoia to come through. It's tagged 1 player, but Poisonous will grab a second. So 2 eco frags, a Bulldog in the inventory, and a chance to do extra econ damage. Their choice to make. Regardless, they're buying at rifles. They've got the money to do so. You can make sure that that bonus coming out of UAlbany is so much weaker. They're going to do just that. So Margador's gone down. No one to be spotted. Looking for a look towards CT. If you're UAlbany here, you just want to get out together. Want to be out as a collective. That 0 point's coming through early. It hasn't scanned the player. So they know they've got that space to work through into CT, into B main. They're going to do just that. Poison start. Well, here's steps towards B main. Going to get the chance to look for exits. No peeks. So UAlbany plays that quite nicely. The buddy system to get their way out towards B main. They've got 3 guns going back into things, but it's nice for the Omen to get a little bit of econ damage of Bulldog into this round.
I think we mentioned that Omen gained the free rifle, not exactly the way I expected it initially, but gives them the rifle for the round, gives them the ability, and Poisonous Tart has been making the highest amount of influence on their team. Of course, AWPE has not had too much of an ability to show. They were on their back foot last round, especially with the eco from the first round. So I'm really looking for them to make a stance. They have the eco, they have the rifles to use in the scenario, and it's just about them stopping the utility that is being deployed on the side of UAlbany, especially this mid push that now for a 3rd consecutive round could potentially go unnoticed.
I like this play. Alarmbot closer. Poison start to be allowed to swing off of it, but nothing. No look towards it. They're aware a lot quicker about this mid-market opportunity. Throw the pot flash for themselves. Not able to peek off it though. A little bit of miscomms in it. They use that paranoia as well. That's a flashpoint gone. That's a paranoia gone very early into mid. The Prowler too. So that's 3 different pieces of utility from Army West Point to try to clear out this mid space. UAlbany's completely baited for it after the alarm bot. They're going to walk away towards A main instead. There's a close contact raise. good Prowler. Good Prowler from UAlbany to get him off the angle. Let's take the step forward now into the actual contact. No aims out first. We'll break the haunt. You don't know how many players are here, but you feel like there's quite a bit if you're Army West Point. That rotation can come pretty quickly for them as well. Shots traded back and forth, and it will be the lower by team, UAlbany, the bonus squad, finding the extra looks. They've got themselves into what is a 3-on-3. The rotation's still there for Army West Point, but you see that tempo slow down for them. They're going to play this one for the retake. Oh, Gabe should know that if that dark cover comes through the wall, that Omen's so very close, but just doesn't quite have the read. We'll set it back to sight. Door's going to come down, plants to come forward, and this post plan has a chance to really break the eco here from the Army side.
They've done a phenomenal job of being able to dominate the site. Flashpoint coming out, allowing KO to take top of heaven. Knife will also be cooked. First kill will be for her. Second kill from Poisonous will be able to take out Sal and Gabe. Meanwhile, Rusty on the refrag. That's a 3K to their name. They're sitting down in hell. 5 health remaining. They're swinging out trying to find the Omen, but Poisonous is just better. He'll be able to win it out, and that will be the first defuse and first round win for AWPE.
Army West Point going to find themselves their first round. So deny the bonus from UAlbany, but man, does it come at a price. They'll lose themselves 4 rifles in the process. They've got to look to scrap together a rebuy here in this one. Fortunately, Poisonous does get that win, gets the rifle out the round, and has the money to now buy an additional teammate. So that they can't have 2 rifles going into this one if they'd like to. It's their choice. I mean, they have a chance to rebuy next round if they do save that extra bit of money, and that looks like that's going to be the call for them. So they'll play with the hero rifle of Poisonous, and that's the player I'd want to give it to be honest. Right now, the MVP of the server with that 5-1 KDA, and really the only player having big impacts from the Army side thus far. So that's the hero rifle opportunity. Once again, Poisonous back towards mid. Alarm bot elevated yet again. And we'll see if UAlbany can call this one out.
Yeah, slow push. Exact same thing. A lot of utility being spent on this mid push. This is what allowed them to stall out last round and interfere with the round. Meanwhile, on the opposite side, it's going to be Interlude to take out Doug. All through this mid push, Paranoia cooking out, and this is the exact moment that we talked about where you can look for those picks, but it won't come into fruition. Interlude able to collect onto Larry. A dash on a sight, no aim, not even going to be able to snag that kill. It's a snag by someone else through the wall onto Velocity, and it's on the cusp of a flawless round. All left up to Poisonous, the man that can frag, looking for one. It will not happen as Rusty collects on the kill. Flawless round for UAlbany.
Yeah, so all that mid pressure comes through pretty early. Army West Point take the call that, oh, I don't think this team's going to be A. Because they played pretty hard into mid the round before, and they ended up late executing A main. So that means they're not in that space early in the round. That call is absolutely wrong. Interlude's there on the lurk, which is interesting. Lurk, playing a controller like Omen, who needs to be pretty close to be able to throw smokes. The range isn't that far. It's surprising to see him lurking towards A main. They don't expect it. Good to grab the first frag. A second goes for the ego peak, gets taken as well. So that's 2 gone already. Numbers dwindle. Then Poisonous with the rifle never gets a chance to even get involved down towards CT because the dark cover is so early from UAlbany. So getting out utiled right now by this offensive team of UA, and see if they continue that trend. They're going to go back towards mid. It's a one-way now set up for Army West Point. It's a new look. Their alarm bot's going to go over towards B main here as well. So they're kind of calling out the fact, I don't think this team goes back towards A. We're going to set up extra util towards B, and we're leaving our Omen all the work to do in terms of mid. That's awkward. That is supposed to go
little
on the
bit
roof.
of a blunder with the haunt. Good intention. I'll give them a lot of credit with that.
Yeah.
It could have made a difference, but it won't matter as Poisonous will be able to swing out with the Phantom, grab it, even go for a Paranoia as the haunt goes through, but they won't be able to collect onto any information, all within the side of Market. Tense gunfight. That knife will be able to give away the locations of both Fade as well as Omen. So a little bit of tension building in Market as they will even reposition the Killjoy towards mid. Now, last time we saw that UAlbany rotated towards A. Whether or not AWPE reads into this is yet to be seen, as multiple players are still sitting along B-Link towards their spawn. They're going to be sprawling in through tree right towards door, and they just have to find the opening pick, but it won't happen. Interlude will be able to find every single pick that's required to clear the site, and that isn't that much.
Big flank on its way. Faye gonna step forward, caught by Velocity though, he's aware of it. So that's one player out of this one at the very least. There's a lot of utility still from West Point. Then Null Command finally gonna fade, so they've got the chance to use it. Point's gonna TP directly into danger, and Interlude happy to pick that one up. A freebie given away. Make it a 3-on-3 now. 2 players gonna step towards door. The fade utility not close enough to help on the initial initiation. 0 points been broken early, so that's util still up for the post plant, or what's left of it, I should say. Flashpoint gonna come through. Both players though nearsighted, and Rusty gonna pick them both up off the Paranoia. Dodaway to jump down. Has found one. Making a 1-on-1 now. Time running shorter and shorter. Seizing towards hell, but this player's all the way towards A main. They've got no idea of it. They step forward onto Spike, and Gabe 1 has the frag. It's a 4-1 scoreline for UAlbany when things are said and done. Everyone will fall, rebuys all around, and UAlbany gonna have the better side of that buy.
There's a lot of stuff to unpack in that round where we can look at the initial push. A lot of stuff is being done by Army West Point to account for the way UAlbany is playing, but they are just the constant adaptations we are seeing on the side of UAlbany. The push through mid. As soon as the util they expended there, I think they threw one knife as well as one prowler early on in the round, and then they let it go because they realized that there was not enough to be claimed there. All the resources of UAlbany was already being spent elsewhere. So I think as soon as they realized exactly what they had to rotate, they did. But it's just a matter of their retake and the information late round.
Damn. Reswing. Good for 2. Yeah, clear the first. That has been the lurking player. So I don't hate that from Ari West Point. I know you're looking at that. Okay, you grabbed 1, boys. You got to clear the rest of the top cat. I mean, they've been playing around mid, but it's been pretty much just that solo Omen lurked over towards A main early in the rounds for the instance that they have been there. So Army West Point, they take the Omen. They say it's clear now, right? They step forward. They step into danger. That's not their fault. In terms of conditioning, you don't expect that player to be top cat. They just don't know. So all good. Happens sometimes. Now much harder retake for what was already going to be difficult in terms of being an eco team. Just wanted to grab that rifle picked up to have a bit of an economic advantage going into this one, but it's not going to be. Only one suppressed on site. Should know these players are going to be out towards main. Rusty and Solid pick up 2 and no aim to finish the round. Poisonous, of course, getting the infamous trade that Omen always seems to find a cheeky pick somewhere. 5-1 for UAlbany. Now a 4-round lead for this team. Rebuy for Army West Point gold now.
I want to see Army West Point go for a lot more of a change in their positioning.
Sure.
Where yes, UAlbany is being very, very difficult to track, but I want them to be a lot more solid in predicting. You have to have 2 players that you have to treat it like a full line of defense. 1 player breaks, you're going to have a hole. You have to be able to move. We're going to have to move to be able to account for that. We are going to have a quick tech pause, so we get to explore the map a little bit and just figure out what's going on. But I'm curious for your input. Exactly what do we have to see from Army West Point for them to secure a good defensive round?
So right now they seem to confident hold somewhere. Everything feels pretty shaky everywhere on the map, which is never a great sign. Killjoy Utility's been pretty well set up for B, but there's been no effort towards B since the pistol from UAlbany. Well, technically they split in the pistol and then their anti-eco the very next round, but those are split towards mid-market. So even though the Killjoy Utility set up for main, there's really no strong push from main other than that lurk of interlude coming later in the round. And even then he's just throwing a dark cover. His actual presence on the site doesn't really matter too much. We need a better look towards mid, especially. Poison starts back on the angle for that cross, but he doesn't really have an opportunity to frag for anything because he doesn't have any space to grab, right? It's either a dark cover, it's either a cloudburst from no aim to take that space in mid-market. Bam, they're already there. It's too late, he's out the round, and he's too far away from CT to be able to have any trade potential. The only kill we've actually seen Poison start pick up onto that mid-cross look was through a smoke last round. There's or 2 rounds ago, excuse me. No aim tries the cloudburst over, he dashes into mid-market, and Poisonous is just spamming through the cloudburst for funskis and ends up finding him mid-dash. That's a look that is incredibly inconsistent and goofy that it happened in the first place. So that's not consistent at all. Instead, they're trying to play Fade Utility. They're trying to put what was that haunt? That haunt was a little unfortunate, so all good. And that's Prowler to come through. But it means inconsistent actual holding. Someone has to actually play it, right? Like you throw an alarm bot down towards mid, someone steps into it. Okay, yeah, they're here. That's good for the whole round. If you throw a Prowler, well, you only have 2. You got to choose when to throw it, and they could be all the way in your face by the time you actually do get that thing thrown off. So the mid hold's been rough. It's been forcing, like there's 2 players in mid right now before this one gets started. Poisonous and Doe are both going to play in towards mid. So that's players that can't help other places on the map, and makes a lot more work for the Peepo Pog himself, Larry, to try to make something happen over towards A main, which is why he's peeking so hard, which is why he's so close contact, and why it's so easy for the actual execute for Albany to just suppress that player and take the A site.
Well, with all that information, we can see if this tack pause has allowed Army West Point to adapt the way we hope. We see 2 players hiding within market. We have to be careful because we have Chaos Flashpoint. They're going to be able to have the information
were saying?
First flash is being prepped. So I think we're about to see a lot of changes within the round. I feel like we're almost narrating, foreshadowing what's going to come, but they're just taking their time. And I don't know if they're waiting for a knife. Flashpoint is cooked out, and this has been specifically maneuvered to be able to cover. 2 flash, going to be dodged by 1. Dog to be able to get a kill onto no aim. That is absolutely huge for the round. Second flash as well as knife will be cooked, but no bite to follow out with that one. And Rusty's going to be forced to rotate back. They're a man down, and Omen has been able to pick up the spike over towards the A side as they've all begun their rotation. But this has been so brilliantly read, and even though there's a lurk on the side of UAlbany, there's nothing to come from it because it's still being watched.
I'm not really sure if he played anti or if he just turned the flash that quick. But either way, good looks from Doe. He's definitely kept this team in the winning position of this round. Lockdown's going to come through for space towards A main. Larry's got a lot of room for scaffold. Has let him know, though, because he's broken the turret. Showstopper out. Timing going to be everything, and it's too far back in the dark cover. They've already stepped forward. Interlude going to pick that one up for free. And they've got the plant on its way as well towards generator. Let's take a shut it down towards door. Swings on its way right now. No one watching either. So Velocity has the planter, and Poisonous has 2 out of scaffold. Sal's here, but he's here late. No time to plant, no time to find these frags at all. There'll be 3 players left up for Army West Point. There'll be a second round finally converted for this team as well.
I think that round win could not have come at a better time. I think there's a lot of phenomenal adaptations, but most importantly, it came down to that opening pick, Cat. Like, if we look over toward Doug, I'm curious to see exactly what they did. Was it like, did they just catch an unfortunate angle, look away just at the right time? Well, I'm curious about that because it's extremely well timed. But then again, they were making noise. You could hear the flash constantly being cooked on the side of UAlbany, and those audio cues to keen ear players. If you have good comms, that's stuff that is going to be pointed out right away.
No smoke top mid. They step forward. Oh, now it's here. It's late. Timing's off. Let's Rusty walk away with a pick. That's big. Gonna take that extra space now up towards Cat. Thought about the reswing. Pop flashed into it. Doesn't want to commit too far though. And we'll come back into it now dry. We call Velocity has that one. D-Song will have one as well from the back of A site. Push gonna continue on its way. They should know it's just this Killjoy here back of sight. So they want to take the space. This is the timing to do so. Have to throw that dark cover up towards door first. Steve's on a D-Song, but he's already snuck forward into generator in the meantime. So both these players will walk away. There's nothing to be seen over towards A main. The util's out just a little too quick from the defensive end.
It's going to come down to a lot of the util that is remaining on each side. Of course, No Aim has those updrafts as well as their knives, but they are going to have to snag 2 kills onto the defenders if they want to be able to have any sort of dash, and that's absolutely huge if you're going to take on just as many gunfights as you're going to have to in this scenario. 30 seconds. I don't want to say they've stalled out, Cat, but it just appears they are preparing with this last bit of util they have remaining, and it's going to come down to the opening pick. No one will be able to find Song.
Oh.
There's a huge pick from Sal. They're able to push right in towards Tree and a great hunt, spotting out everyone on Heaven. This gives full sight control to UAlbany. They're going to be able to play just to their liking, waiting with the remaining util they have left.
It's such awkward little moments like that. Just non-considerations of angles. Velocity to flash out. We'll grab the gen player, and it's made it a 2-on-2. This one looking possible. Well, nade off main so they can focus this hell together. Boys just gonna find one. No aim with the trade, and we'll get so much more as well. Take the KO and the Omen. We'll take the round. It's a 1-on-2 clutch from the player back of Gen. It's a 6-2 score line for UAlbany. So Army West Point finally able to get themselves around, and well, it's turned right back on its head. And the only thing about winning a round, Binks, it resets your loss bonus. So Army West Point, not only do they need last round's win, but they need one more to go with it to solidify their economy. They can't quite do so. Now they're poor yet again, playing on Nico. UAlbany should have this one in the bag.
Yeah, if you're trying to establish any eco, that 2 rounds consecutive win is so important. It can't just be a fluke. You have to prove that you know what you're doing. And you have to make sure that the attackers, in this case, are not able to readily adapt to the way you're playing. Now, exact same cookie cutter push that we've seen from UAlbany right through market, they're also going to be accompanying it with a KO ult, meaning that every single attempt from
my God.
AWPE Gold is not going to work. No kills, however,
Bro.
until Rusty will finally grab one. Second one, and No Aim will also collect, but they do not have the rifle to contend. Pushing out through the smoke, will be looking for the fade. That's a 3K from Rusty, all left up to Larry, who's pushed in through mid, but nope, that's a door. You're going to have to turn right on around unless you plan on knocking.
Oh, Rusty is an absolute academic weapon. Bro just walked into sight, pop flash through CT alone, and kills 3. I know what I want, and my boy took it. Larry all on his own, and yeah, ain't nothing getting done there. Door was down, gonna walk towards CT. He's got just a sheriff anyway. He's looking for some exits. Gonna step forward into CT now. There'll be an initial cross. So if he gets one, there should be a quick trade. Oh, there's one for free in the back. Looking for a second look. It gets the shoulder, but just cannot quite find the headshot. So Gabe one will stay alive, and No One will find the frag. It's a 5-round lead for UAlbany to rebuy now for Army West Point. We'll see those considerations over towards mid, because we talked about the fact that UAlbany, so many looks towards mid on the split. When they did get caught, it was that anti-flash just 3 rounds ago. They weren't playing that mid space. They were playing towards A main instead. And it meant the Army West Point moved a player from mid over towards A. You see the implication of that. UAlbany recognize, they go back towards mid, and they win it out because there is just the Omen there. So do they fix the issue? Do they put another player here?
Getting extremely aggressive now, all the way through B-Link and B-Garage. Not going to be able to find any picks. There was a lot of utility spent on both sides for a whole lot of nothing. So yes, you got aggressive. Yes, you made your place known, but you still have to contend with this mid push. And all that happens now is once they push through mid, you're now caught out of position, and sight is going to be that much harder to retake.
Once again, it's a smoke towards mid for this split. It's Poisonous throwing off the angle. Paranoia forward has caught one. I'll actually back up out of that space because that should be heard audibly. So they should know this team has indeed moved away. Probably going to come through. We'll confirm that information. But there's 3 players towards mid right now for Army West Point. So they're significantly weaker on other points of the map. Alarm bot spotted for Rusty. We'll break now. We'll step forward. That nano swarm doesn't cover enough space. So Rusty's still going to step forward. Has picked up one as Dodo's going to fall. Another player back towards Generator. CAG for damage. We'll find the frag as well. D-Song then wide swings and caught by Interlude. Sal's going to grab Larry, and they're into the site yet again. A's open. UAlbany with a quick improvisation mid-round. Interlude to find one through door just for fun. Keep giving them up, man. He'll keep taking them. Poisonous Tart gonna fall. It's Velocity 1-on-4.
I think they have potential here. If they have the rotate, if they are able to isolate every single 1v1, then Velocity could come out on top. They have just a slight amount of utility remaining. They have the knife. 2-7. That means that it would be the situation of UAlbany going up 8-2. The cusp of a 9-3 split as well, or even a 10-2 if they don't win it out. So yes, saving the rifle can be the right choice here, but it also seems like the chosen choice from AWPE Gold. So take this time, tactical timeout if you require it. Talk, discuss with your team, and just make sure that you have a solid game plan going into it, because it's been cookie cutter plays. The spray will come out, how they knew their positioning. Quite curious, but
Smarter.
Just better. Built different. I'm curious, Zach. Do you have any, like, it's a cookie cutter approach, but it is not being read by Army West Point. Whenever you it's also a matter of like the rifles being chosen by UAlbany. You mentioned how they have the jet for the opping. That's still not coming out. There's a lot of different factors that aren't changing.
Yeah, that is actually a very good point. We have not seen the jet touch the op one time, so you can't say it's an entry duelist difference. I definitely don't think it is either. I think you can get the exact same result if you were playing a Raze in No Aim's position, so it's definitely not that. I think it's the fact that, well, Velocity gonna pick up one B main. Hold up just a second. Let's see if they try to refrag this, and they do. Game one swinging for the fences here. Gonna take more space over towards lane. That suppression is big. No utility. Fade can't throw those prowlers at Haunt to get into this site, so it stalled them for quite a bit of time. Now they'll push towards lane. Velocity on the jungle gym, doing some parkour and caught out now. Gabe 1 and Sal gonna pick themselves up too into the B site yet again, and Plant is going to go down. I was gonna say there's been so much implication towards mid for AWPE. It seems to be the weak point on the map for them, that they have everything else so much weaker, and you see the implication of that already. That team stuck towards mid with 3 players. It means they can walk their way through B main, get to site. Rusty gonna pick up one. These players coming, these are the mid players, by the way, now getting their way into sight. Recognize the fact that the last 2 players alive. Rusty's picked up 1 and the second to go with it. That is so very clean from this man. A 3K yet again for the KO. One very accustomed to it this game, that's for sure. It's a 9-2 scoreline for UAlbany. After getting the space over towards B main, I mean, you got to give credit where it's due, honestly, to the IGL of this team. Working so hard into mid so early, throwing so much conditioning there that Army West Point feels so unconfident about it. They have to put extra resources there, and it means that one of the mains is going to be weaker, it's going to be open, and that it is.
I like a lot of the things attempted by Army West Point last round, but it just did not work out exactly the way they were looking. So going into this final defensive round, they have a lot to be desired, and it looks like a little bit more of an aggressive push will be the route they're opting for. They are going to be hit by that paranoia. Doug has been able to find that opening pick on at least one of the winning rounds thus far for Army West Point. So a lot of interesting information, but everyone's rotated, and look at this. There's 2 players sitting on the B site. Meanwhile, 3 rotating all the way on the side of Army West Point. So the moment that they spring onto site, velocity, you're not going to be able to hold. You have a lockdown you have to contend. Look at every single piece of utility that's being thrown your way. You can't even see currently. You're going to be caught out by the Killjoy. Nothing they can do. Completely detained. Now what? The 1 player's detained. Sight has now fallen to Army West Point. Everyone is sprawling through mid. They're going to be flooding in. Rusty to collect on that first kill. Plant is going to be successful, and it's going to be an absolute dump of utility. And let me remind you that KO still has his null command post-plant.
That's the play for Army West Point? They got through A main so early. For casting us this round doesn't matter. They got through A main so early. They have all the information those players are going to be. They're set up for sight. That 0 point is fantastic to stall that push. That would have been on its way instantly. It's about 20 seconds less time for that team to be able to make their way onto the rotate. They see the turret on the top of Ticket outside of B lobby, and they say, we can't go here anymore. They know we're here. No, they know 1 is there. That turret shooting 1 player is not going to give the information that 3 players are going to be on your rotate. The call there should be to shoot turret and walk B main. That is the play they drew up. They abandoned it because of 1 turret, and everybody gets stuck mid-market. You saw those 3 players trying to make their way through a dark cover. They can't anymore because that's the initial utility you're throwing on the execute if for UAlbany. I mean, the bag's right there. They fumbled it.
Well, anytime I fumble the bag, I realize, okay, c'est la vie. I got to roll my shoulders back in this scenario. Might have fumbled it. I'll try to pick it back up and figure out exactly what I can do to change that, whether that be more aggressive, whether that mean change my approach. We saw a lot of Army West Point's aggression last round. Are they going to continue with it? It will be No Aim to continue with it, as Gabe and No Aim will collect kills before Velocity gets the refrag onto No Aim. Of course, UAlbany coming out on top, especially with the frags they were able to secure, because it's just the jet on UAlbany that has fallen. And correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that supposed to? That's who's supposed to die first, right?
Yeah.
Not your fade. Like,
can we get a look at the fade for UAlbany in mid real quick? I just want to talk about the difference of the mid hold. You see that alarm bot and that nanoswarm combination. So if a player does get spotted towards mid here for UAlbany, they'll instantly throw out that nanoswarm and they'll kill space, right? So no one can swing off of it after they break that utility. And then that fades top of mid with the prowler to guarantee, okay, if that utility comes through, did they stay or did they leave? That's a good mid setup. So just in case Army West Point does go back and watch this VOD, that one implication, that one switch up of moving the fade instead of where your omen was and playing that utility could have been the difference in several of these rounds.
30 seconds left.
Gabe not able to rotate back all the way towards Boathouse will allow Poisonous to get their kill. Meanwhile, Sal is going to be able to take out Song, and the push, the retake for Sight is well underway. UAlbany using their C's, getting it right down is going to be narrowly avoid that Omen. All left up to Velocity, that's all the way back inside Boathouse. Swinging around trying to find it. The swings from both sides will result in UAlbany with a successful retake and more than enough time to defuse. And for the second time in a row, pistol round will be theirs.
That's a great look for those two players as well, coming their way in towards B main, recognizing There's no util that's going to prevent them from being able to make that flank possible. And because that team is still looking to get their way in towards site, there is that time to wrap. So the mid players can step forward, go towards tile, and sneak their way in towards B main. And I really, like, moments like that, you really can start to highlight what is just a massive IGL difference. Because those plays you can't draw up. You can't go VAL plant that flank. There's no way to draw up, okay, we're going to get 2 opening picks here. There's going to be the Killjoy down. We're going to be able to take space behind. You can't draw that up. There's no way. That comes completely off of your in-game leader recognizing an opportunity and you taking said opportunity. It just feels like UAlbany is a team that can improv way better. And it's moments like that we don't always get to highlight because we're always looking at flashy executes, big mechanical plays, but it really is just outbrains in terms of gaps that are seen mid-round.
Yeah, he's gonna spring out on towards A site, spray out with the Stinger, gonna do some great damage, but it will not be able to connect onto any full frag. AWPE Gold does seem to have stalled out on this A main push, not even looking to continue pushing up. So I'm not too sure exactly what's going on here. It's just waiting, and you have a minute to go, and I don't see any player rotating off, especially when UAlbany is able to watch and monitor. They have turrets, they have alarm bots. You need to make a play that allows you to be the dominating force. Otherwise, why do you expect UAlbany to give it to you?
No. Looking for that early opportunity doesn't come, and now you have to try to make that yourself, right? It gets so much more difficult. And then 0 points just scan for 2. It's gonna have the fade, it's gonna have the raise. So that utility's out of this one early. Rusty's gonna pick up 1 because they have no util to use. There's nothing to throw. There's no entry duels opportunity. They can't get any information off the initiator. They decide to hit anyway, and yeah, that one goes about how you would have expected it to. 12-2. UAlbany happy to take themselves another round, and they're looking at a bonus to finish the game. And well, because Army West Point forces up, it's not really much of a bonus, is it? It's kind of an anti-eco.
Yeah, it's not.
It's not really.
I'm looking for words.
disadvantageous,
I'm looking for something to say here, Zach. Like, Army West Point they've made good parts of the rounds. Parts of the round are so very solid, so well rehearsed. But when you plan for everything go to plan, for everything to work out the way you expect it to, I'm sorry, but that's just Murphy's Law. You're going to have stuff that's not supposed to happen. Rusty swinging out, taking out your top frag at Poisonous Tart. Where do we go now? Where do we go now? There's chaos that will ensue. Players not knowing where they need to rotate. You have to use your initiators. You have Fade. You have KO. You have to use them. Strategically take parts of the map and don't give them back. Once you take those, you keep pushing up. If you have a swing that comes from an unknown area, address it. Improvise to know, all right, where are my holes? What am I doing and why?
And this is the thing about playing in collegiate. I think sometimes it is a lot more prevalent to play what you are comfortable with rather than play the meta. And I don't know this, but I do wonder how this Army West Point team would look if they were playing a Sky Sova into this matchup and not a Fade KO. Because pretty much everyone picked up Fade KO because it's had so much positive results internationally. Like, it's good everywhere. It's the meta. It's so very successful. But if you don't know how to play it, you don't know why it's successful, right? And I think there is an element that maybe this team just does not know how to play the comp effectively.
Well, regardless, they're going to spring onto site with 13 seconds remaining in the round. Rusty will have to find the headshot onto Velocity. Spring now interlude trying to find the headshot. They'll find it. They'll find 2 onto Larry. All left up to the Killjoy on the side of AWPE Gold. 2 seconds, 1 second, but it's the flawless round and a 3K from Rusty. The defenders of UAlbany will be able to take it 13-2.
It is a 13-2 scoreline for UAlbany on their own map pick of Ascent. They absolutely annihilate. It's an IGL difference all across the board. They just looked like the smarter team. They look like the better team, and that comp just played directly into their favor.
Now, I want to go back to something you mentioned there in that final round, because I feel like we were onto something that we just couldn't discuss. Those comfort picks, them taking the Fade. If we look over at UAlbany, when they're taking that Fade, taking that KO, what were they doing with it? The flashes were prepped. It wasn't a right click half the time, and when it was just for the KO. Those flashes were prepped and assisting the Jet with their entry. those every single prowler that was sent out by that fade, those haunts. It was constantly assisting. The initiators were not selfish in the way they were playing. They were playing for their team, and they played on their own when they had to. That is the type of prep that you absolutely need on the side of UAlbany. And if you take that aspect out of their gameplay, whole other team. They are comfortable playing those operators or those agents, and they're comfortable maneuvering around the map in different ways. That improvisation. Now I want to go back over to Army West Point. If you actually diagnose the way they were playing their agents, there's other agents they would be more comfortable on. What if we saw Arena? What if we saw a jet that they could absolutely frag out on rather than that Omen? Yes, you're missing out on that smokes, but the impact you're individually making on a round and assisting your team with, if you're comfortable with it, can make all the difference and even throw your opponent off.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, the other thing we look at, like mirror matches, like as this one was pretty close to, not a mirror match, but all the utility at the very least is just a difference of what was a Raze and what was a Jet. You also know how, or at least what you expect your other team to play like. So you also get the opportunity, because we saw a lot of that in towards mid. And I mean, I think some of it is that Army West just not very interesting mid hold in the first place. But I think for Albany, and to credit them, they know where they think that mid utility is going to be. I mean, they were very aware of that alarm bot and very quick to break it several rounds, which does force another player to come around. And then after they break that alarm bot, they keep presence just long enough so that you have to throw a flash, but you have to throw a prowler. You have to make sure that space has been avoided, or you don't have players in that area. And because of that, they have so much defensive utility gone and what is the first 20-30 seconds of the round. So not only is it just that they play their competition better, but they outplay the opposing competition so much better because they know what utility that team's going to need to give away in certain instances of the round. But regardless, that's Albany's pick, man. So they should win it, right? Haven's on
Exactly.
play. Army West Point will be a different story. We'll let you know after the break.
Threats. You sometimes dream in code? Become a cyber attacker's worst nightmare. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
What do you expect from that first job out of college? Working your way up from the bottom? Instead, how does this sound? Starting in a guaranteed leadership position with people who look to you for guidance because you're trained to give it and make important decisions in critical situations. Skip entry level. Decide to lead as an Army officer. Becoming a leader is a choice not everyone wants to make. Because all eyes are on you. Calling the shots. Inspiring others to follow. In any environment. At any scale. It's not for everyone. But if you want to learn to make big decisions, start with this one. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
You think knowledge is a powerful weapon? Here, you'll have plenty of ammo. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids, just kids. That's wealth, years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out to finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the grind on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to. Back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents. And now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Your offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finished his bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, job that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground and the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Are you the one others rally around? Inspire soldiers to follow your lead. Want to forge a better future? Start with the structures that support tomorrow's missions. You believe the best offense is a good defense. We've got a great way to prove that theory. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Are you the one others rally around? Inspire soldiers to follow your lead. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
We all got a thing that gets us out of bed or keeps us out of it. The thing we live to do, that we do for nothing at all. But don't do it for nothing. Take it to where it means everything.
Becoming a leader is a choice. So if you want to learn to make big decisions, start with this one. Decide to lead.
Welcome back, everybody, to ECAC Week 2. We just watched one heck of a map, number one. 13-2 scoreline. The University of Albany taking the better of that one. Map 2, it's on its way.
So we're going to get headed over to Haven. Now, we just saw UAlbany have a very successful attack, and they are going to be going right back over to that attacking side. So luckily, within this 5-minute break that we've had, the Black Knights are going to be able to actually change up everything that they need to understand. And I see a Yoru pick here, which I think would speak to the comfort level. I like it. I'd love to see it.
That's not real. I promise you. Don't let them. Don't
it's
fall
real.
for this.
It's real.
No, you don't. Don't fall for this.
It's real. It's Rusty. Rusty was going off with his outplays last map.
No,
so I think that if UAlbany,
I swear he wouldn't do it.
Oh man,
you know what? I tried to help you. I told you I didn't want to see you fall like that.
It was a speculation, by the way. So like once again, I wasn't wrong. It was a speculation.
True.
Regardless, if we actually take an in-depth look at all these choices, Chamber and Jet on the side of UAlbany, and we have a lot more long angles that are going to be contested besides mid. So if we look at last round, it makes sense. Last map, it makes sense that there was no opping on Ascent because they weren't even allowing AWPE Gold the opportunity to push up towards those angles that could be challenged by an op. They're looking for those close combat engagements. So Phantom Vandal is exactly what you're looking for. Haven, you're going to have so many long angles. You're going to see an op that it's essential, basically. But regardless, Chamber on both sides most likely. And I don't know how I feel precisely about these comps. I don't necessarily like the double initiator from AWPE Gold. I think there was better options available in some scenarios. But once again, Omen from both sides. And Kat, I'm interested for your input on this one because there's so many pros and cons to each of these comps.
Yeah, there's a lot of interesting content all over the board here. For starters, I haven't seen Sova KO in a long time, just because they kind of cover the same basis. The only difference is KO is going to give you dagger scans, but he's going to give you like what a Sova can. The Sova will show you exactly where a player is going to be off of their dart, but you don't get that suppression from the KO. So to see them work together is interesting. Usually we're looking at, again, that fade KO, or looking at a KO and a breach, so we're getting additional flashes or something like that. Not to say KO doesn't have flashes, but there's stronger options available, and then especially like you get that rolling thunder in there and stuff like that. So the initiator choices are interesting over there. I think the initiator, as you mentioned, for Army West Point's interesting. I don't know if there's better options on a set, but I know that it didn't look like they could play this composition very strong. So we'll see going into this one. The Raze to come back, and the Raze is a great entry duel, still pretty consistent, really good at clearing sewer when it comes to the offensive end. Jet will be good about playing in quick. The C-side execute, I think, has just kind of been a staple to Cloudburst, super dash your way to the top of C boxes. So we get that to come out. I don't know. We talked about comfort picks before, and I think we got some comfortability here.
3 shots being fired out on the side of AWPE Gold, none to land, and that's going to hurt the bank account, especially when we consider how much those headhunter rounds cost. But regardless, not too much progression made on the side of UAlbany. However, they are clearly showing that they have implications. They want to take this A site. The first thing they're going to have to combat is going to be Chambers Tripwire. They don't know where it is. They have a scan dart ready, and they're going to notice right away that AWPE Gold has almost entirely given it to them. So there you're going to have the trip mine set off, and I got to be completely honest, Kat. Once again, they're catching AWPE Gold on their back foot.
Yep. Deal of util, though, for AWPE to get back into this one. It's a question of if they can coordinate this defensive utility and turn it into a successful retake. So they've got to get players off the early crossfire and then additional as well. So they're going to throw a little bit of a one-way to get themselves out in the first place. Look towards CT. Has not gone their way just yet. Larry's found one. That is it for that entry duelist. Sal's going to take one. No aim to take the initiator, and Larry, that player to find the first pick, couldn't get any farther, will fall down just outside of CT spawn, and it's a 1-0 scoreline for UAlbany.
Well, at least we know there's no clear carries on UAlbany net, as they all have 1 kill. Great teammates on their part, great collaboration, and of course we can go and highlight, oh, teammates, they're so good. No, that was not coordinated. I'm sorry, as coordinated as you'd like that to be. That's just called players knowing how to get their frags. They won their ones, and that's it on that round. But they also got sight. They used their utility appropriately. They didn't utility dump to get onto site. They didn't utility dump at any point in the map. They're collecting vital information at different parts of the round, and that's exactly what's allowing them to play in such an aggressive stance. Poisonous, I don't know how much I like this. Your smoke is going to disperse any second now. You don't have the rifle advantage, but great timing, great positioning. This should allow them to possibly have a free kill onto No Aim once they push up. But don't get impatient. Swinging up, will be able to catch the jet off guard. That's a rifle down the ground. Interlead able to find 2. Make that 3 all through the mid window. Almost shutting it down any hope that AWPE Gold had of taking back this eco round.
The eco push to come through and towards grass. Everybody snuffed out. They do get 1 look for their troubles. Definitely not enough to try to turn the tides in this one, at least not yet. We look towards garage, look towards the main, and velocity caught up very early by Gabe 1. Gotta find this window player now. D-Song not scanned by Dart as he's in that dark cover. Shackle miss as well. Gabe gonna spot him now in the gap in the smoke. So D-Song towards CT, a player on both ends. First peek on its way towards sight. We'll cancel it before he gets into the angle though. Gabe 1 snuck under him. The jump up onto the staircase and a right click for D-Song to be able to pick up 1. A low KO in his future if he wants to take a peek towards garage, but has opted not to at this time. Get out with the Spectre into this one if he'd like to, and looks like that was going to be the call. So is not going to get extra money if he doesn't die, and he'll realize, okay, good work for the team to make this call. Good work, good work. Yeah, that's that's the right play. That's the right play, because Army West Point is wanting to buy rifles into this round, so you don't want that Spectre in the first place. And if you do take that Spectre, it means you don't get the extra money coming out of the round. You won't get any money because you stay alive. So we'll recognize, looks for late exit frags down long, doesn't find anything, all good, has rifle into this round, and they're into that anti-bonus to try to stop UAlbany from breaking eco.
See, but like I like that push and all. Like it makes sense. You don't get as much, but I feel like it farther benefits your eco in farther rounds. You're trying to make an explosive start. I understand that, but a Spectre on a flank can oftentimes net you so many great unexpected kills if you try to go for those off angles that UAlbany has been doing their due diligence in attempting to check, but you can always catch them off guard depending on your scenario. Regardless, that's in the past. We have a lot more to look forward to, like these slow pushes. Another thing I like highlighting here is even though there's no rifle on the side of UAlbany, they don't push in a way that sacrifices lives. They don't play in a way that would give rifles to their team, especially on that past round. They are constantly looking for these impactful frags that not just open up kills and just give them the man advantage, but open up entire gaping holes on the side of AWPE's defense.
Yeah, and they'll play this one pretty slow. They're going to look for close contact angles, looking at Spectres, looking at these limited rifles. That Bulldog going to be the only thing to really get range. It hasn't found anything. Sal hasn't either, down towards C long, so they're caught up pretty early. Looking for that plan into the B side. They got some space. No one's picked up 2 with the Sheriff. That's ridiculous. Coming from the Jet, and that's just opened up a whole possibility of taking the bonus round. That's 1 rifle to be picked up. Funnel this back to the team, and a chance to grab a second if they'd like to. Paranoia is on its way. Poison is caught, and Rusty without the frag. No aim with a 4th now before being shut down from B-Song. He needs 3 more to win this round. There's 1. Looking for the second close contact. It's Interlude with what was that former rifle into the round. We'll shut things down to hold on to it. It's a bonus picked up for UAlbany. It's a 3-0 scoreline, and they keep 2 rifles alive, so they've got themselves that extra economic damage moving forward as well.
I see something we didn't see last game. We finally have the operator coming into play from Sal. I'm really interested to see how this changes the way that Albany plays. Are they going to be going for those more aggressive takes to have an immediate interest on those long angles? Are we going to see them continue to play slow and use that off for the post plant? Looking to be slow once again. They're not even trying to contest it. I love this about UAlbany's gameplay. They are so patient. They assist each other at every turn. You can see the chemistry that's been developed for these players. With every push, you can see a clear mentality, a clear motivation for each round. The swing out, there's your pick that opens up the round. KO is going to have to rotate back, try to grab the rifle here. There's so very few options on the side of AWPE Gold. And look at this, the spring. Players starting to rotate, the raise, going back in towards their spawn, leaving just Fade solo on site with the Stinger. Great positioning, but they have to net a frag. They're going to give the audio call. Everyone's going to be rotating. But once again, it's a back foot rotate where they're going to be expending all their utility for the retake.
And when you start, puts Dodo in an awkward situation here where they're going to know all about it towards short. No, he's picked up 1. Dodo looking at all these swings. Now they'll shoot the haunt first, but then Interlude will find him. A second as well, and we'll get the 3rd on their dropout towards CT. Velocity and Tart both going to fall, trying to waterfall out of heaven. It's 4-0 for UAlbany. Around they should expect to win there, playing against those eco weapons. Now they look to take themselves into a rifle round victory to break eco yet again and guarantee they keep the winning ways alive. I also like the fact that Sal's the one with the operator. So many times we talk about, well, if we're playing a chamber, we don't need a jet because we don't need 2 opping agents. So they have the chamber on the operator and they still have their entry duelist capable of entrying. It's really hard sometimes for jets to op on the attacking side because they're supposed to be that player that dashes in, that dies first, right? And when they're opping, they just cannot quite do such a thing. So to have a chamber who can also, as you just saw, grab the pick out of garage and then TP away to actually play the op for you on your attacking side, it still allows your jet to get space into sight.
We see on the side of AWPE Gold, they have already lost one of their advantages. They are expending utility now, trying to figure out where the push is coming from. So once again, they attempted the proactive approach, did not work out in their favor, and now they are just stuck between a link, trying to figure out exactly what this push is looking like and what they're going for. But look at this on UAlbany. It's calm and collected. The spike is all the way back inside of spawn. They have not a care in the world about it yet because it's not relevant for them to rotate it. And if need be, you have Omen who has their ultimate ready. They are ready to teleport anywhere on that map to cause all of that confusion.
Space up towards B. We'll bring the spike over by way from the shadows. And what we rarely get to see utilized, that typically is to move the spike around. Plant's going to go down towards B. This is a hard hold on the rifle round, but they do have that numbers advantage to make it a little bit more doable. 0 points broken early. No aim. Going to break 2 down towards Link. Dodo's going to have that trade finally. Looking to take space the rest of the way there. And Interlude will take down their teammates. So they've got it all to do. You need an ace to win this round, and Dodo will call it off early. Look to take this rifle into the next round.
They just got to look for that little opening. They have the ability to get their ultimate if they get the one pick or die. So it's a question of what they want to go for. But if you look to the bottom right of your screen, ladies and gentlemen, they have no money in the bank. So it's practically a no-brainer at this point. You're going to want to save that rifle, maybe try to grab a pick, use that haunt, give away your location if you have to. You don't even have access to it, so you got to survive for those 3 seconds. Don't peek it out. Play the safe angle in this scenario because you're not really hurting their eco from going for that pick. All you're getting is your ultimate, which can be obtained by an orb next round. I don't know what to tell you, Kat. It's a tough push with every round for AWPE, and they're just not placing their players in a way that allows them to rotate, allows them to play. I think they have to have a clear idea. Are we playing the post plant? Or are we playing the early picks? Because it feels as if the post plant will work a lot better for them if they clearly have that set out from the start.
Yeah, that's true. It's always awkward to have look towards retake while simultaneously looking towards close contact. Puts those numbers, those resources down before that retake even gets a chance to flourish. Early 0 points come down towards C long. It's been broken pretty early as well. Ooh, heads up play. The Omen to get damage to the platform player. And he'll head away, or the chamber, excuse me, and they'll head away from that one now. UAlbany start with some util towards C. They pull players over, and they've pulled players over. The B players have moved too. That leaves just Larry in towards A, and he's in for a rude awakening as the swings are on their way lobby. He's picked up one with the burst fire. Traded though quickly by no aim, and that's going to be A site wide open if UAlbany's quick enough to take.
Cloudburst being sent out. Jet dashing right onto site, avoiding the Prowler's going to be hit by the Paranoia from AWPE Gold. Player moved towards Heaven. Sprays coming out. Velocity to be able to find one onto Gabe. There's one for Poisonous Tart as this entire push for UAlbany has fallen apart. The final player of Sal is down inside of sewers. They have the operator, but there's someone on the flank that is going to be the chamber. 30 seconds for this retake, and it is looking like AWPE Gold has the opportunity to seize this round and very little opportunity for Sal to get away. They're going to toss that operator out. You don't want to give that to your opponent. So if you're able to rotate in accordingly, possibly switch back for it. Okay. It's a comfortable way to play this round. You're going to have your ultimate next round, the Tour de Force. What happened here, Kat? They had the site, but just could not hold it.
Yeah, I think it's maybe just timing there. They spent a lot of time clearing those early contact angles, and I mean, Army West Point has been playing pretty hard into close contact at times, so you have to do your due diligence and check those angles first. And Army West Point, we talked about the fact that rotation got pulled from what was 1 dark cover pretty early over towards C. They moved players over towards Garage, over towards Link. And then they just had those numbers for the retake because those players did bite on what was the initial fake of utility. But since UAlbany took so long to clear, those players were already ready to go for the fire, and they just didn't expect that many players to be back at site.
Good point. We could also look at the fact that the Omen was not alive, but they are ready to make their impact on this round, trying to spring the trap onto AWPE. Plant's going to be going down very early in the round. They are not messing around. They have entire control of C site, but look at the widespread of all the players on the side of AWPE. They have control of Garage now, looking to move towards, but that is a full 5 rotate all the way back down towards long. So that entire clear is not going to have any impact on the round. They know that they have control. Tapping the spike, you're going to have the sprays coming out on every single angle, trying to find their pick. No aim to find D-Song, trying to find every single other kill that they can. Are not going to result in anything. Poison Tart to find one. 2v3 remaining. No time for this defuse, and it's going to come down to everyone running away, but Dodo not going to be able to escape and Poison Tart. It's going to be rather debatable.
A 5-round differential now. 1 rifle brought out of this one. It's deja vu for AWPE in regards to looking for revives. Fortunately, They are able to put the rest of the pieces together. D-Song will be the one player without a weapon into this one. Should be able to get themselves a bolt there. Okay, there it is. So bulldog we picked up. It's the half rifle. We did see them grab a pick from the side of Larry in terms of bulldog down A long a bit ago. So we know it does have frag potential even against full rifle teams. Let's see if they can find it here. They need a round. They need it here. They break eco yet again. And they're going to be looking at the trenches.
And looking to scrape anything they can off the board right now. Poison is trying to get the dark cover out in time, but nope. KO's knife will make quick work of that. Spike has been left inside of mid window, likely to be carried by the chamber, but they've sprung all the way up and are challenging B Link now. There's two players that are going to be contesting here. No Aim has an uphill battle for sure, taking on both the Fade and Omen of Army West Point. Poisonous Tart ready for those angles, and we've seen them have a great show of force in the past. Same with Dodo, but they're not going to find that opening pick this round, allowing the Jit to throw the Cloudburst, forcing the remaining players back. They have control of B site, meaning they can go for this plant. Recon Dart will further ensure that, knowing that is getting shot out. Great choice and use of utility, great plant location, but here comes the showstopper, able to find Gabe. Plant has happened, not able to shut down No Aim, however, and it will allow for Velocity to swing in and get that pick. Meanwhile, Interlude has to make their pick in. Sprays all around. Poisonous Tart has gotten right onto site. Interlude has an uphill battle. There's their second. They're going to have to find two more. Defuse is already happening. Finds their third. They get off at half. They have the Paranoia ready. It's not going to matter, though. Velocity to win it out. They have a quick defuse, and we're not going to see a repeat of last game.
Yo, why do they keep playing B, man? It's actually kind of strange. I've never seen a team posture so hard for B before. Because the last instance where we see them take a win on B site is because No Aim walked out of a smoke with the sheriff and killed two. That's not a normal occurrence. Like, No Name is once again looking so far up towards A-Link. It does grab one, but puts them in such an awkward position, because if No Name doesn't frag there, they're actually griefed. Like, Larry's showstopper is able to come through. No Aim almost shuts it down, gets so very close. Unfortunately, kills his teammate, who's the Omen, and they kind of needed his utility there, so they just end up not without it. So Larry kind of hits the bait and switch on him. You hate to see it. It does feel bad. D-Song almost throws it because he doesn't give any knowledge that his trademarks broke, but like, bro, I don't know why they're B so consistently. Like, they're back yet again. No one's gonna walk forward. Has killed one.
I understand. I understand them wanting to rotate the spike. I like seeing the spike there, meaning they're thinking about where it's going. But when you leave the spike there, it's almost like a subconscious push towards B, and you have the Omen that's ready. They're going to teleport to whatever site you need. But here's the flank from Velocity. They've really heated up this round, looking to find their picks. But there's UAlbany with the true to force to shut it right on down. D-Song has the Bulldog. They collected onto Rusty, and the rotate onto C has come into fruition. 3 players remaining on this side of UAlbany, going for their push. Make that 2. Oh my goodness, Sal! The flick coming right on out. Looking to find the chamber, taking out the headhunter. Poor timing. D-Song able to collect. True to force is no more. Recon Dart right there, spraying onto the Omen, but Interlude does not miss those. They'll be able to get the shot onto D-Song, the round, and the plant. Look at all those credits to make sure that that eco does not go hungry.
I mean, what do you want me to say?
That flick, though.
My boy walked in, took names, and dealt with what needed to be done. It's that simple. Sal just puts in the work that round.
Buddy created an incident and just said he'd file the report later. He without a care in the world.
That was not right. That was not right at all. So it'll be a 5-round advantage for this team. Early 0 points gone down towards B. For the attacking side, it's C nothing. Dodo has been more than seen. He's been eliminated. Interlude will take him out. Late paint shell to come through, and Larry's gonna try to take the space as well. Interlude happy to look for a second, but not happy to find it. It's the frenzy from Larry to pick up a frag. And he'll get a Vandal for his trouble. So the Eco team a little bit more into this one. Paranoia has not caught the player towards A long. That Sova still has full vision. Now dark cover to come through for a bit of vision denial. And Rusty pop flashing into danger, finds a frag regardless. Pops the head. D-Song will pop No Aim on the back of things, and UAlbany now going to look to fight the flank.
If D-Song is able to collect onto one more frag or find an alt-orb, that will mean that they have their 2 to 4 in the round.
the
They
chambers
did
through
not.
C.
Oh no! Oh no! D-Song, no! Not able. You see the foot? You see the foot?
Bro, it's so small.
No, bro! Oh no!
And
That is why you shoot the rendezvous. You give them away. You give away your position, but they can't get away. Tripwire is going to be sent out looking for the pick. Rusty finally to collect onto D-Song. It's going to be a 2v3 rifle advantage. Sal will not miss his shot onto Velocity. You know he collects from that operator. And now all left up to the Omen of Poisonous Heart. We've seen them get their crazy frags, but can they come up huge in this round? Sneaking, slowly trying to find the frag that they require. The peek from Sova, not going to hit the shots, however. That's going to be Gabe one to find the pick, upgrade to a Sheriff for their troubles, and 2 to 8, and we're staring down the barrel of another 10 to 2 half.
Shout out to Gabe one, man. That's a real teammate. Sal walks in to garage for the post plant and just stares at door. Doesn't even consider the fact that maybe he could come window, and Gabe one recognizes this and comes down and holds the cross with him. Has his brother's back, and is the reason he stays alive there, because that could have been deadly if someone hadn't been watching. Could have been good for that first pick, and then maybe an opportunity because it would have picked up an op as well. A little bit of cheese as the chamber. Sal's able to walk all the way through C, gets all that space, and then obviously makes the comms to his teammates that are outside of A lobby. Guys, come on, it's free pickings. Pool's open. Temperature's pretty nice. I'm grilling some hot dogs as well. So they walk into Seaside, easy plant to go down for them, and yeah, it just comes off of what is a nice lurk.
Do you boil your hot dogs or grill them? You can tell me later because shots are. Yes, boil.
What?
Yes.
Who?
Like boil in hot water if you're like in a pinch.
Chat, get him.
Oh
if you
my
ever
goodness.
invite me to a pool party, you boiled the hot dogs, I am turning around and
No.
leaving.
I'm just
That's
thinking
crazy.
in a pitch. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's wrong to think about. But like, that's a discussion for another round because the null command has come right on into fruition. Interlude is going for that plant on site, and with 52 seconds remaining in the round, they'll cut it short because Spike has now been planted and the pressure is now applied to AWPE Gold. Larry to find the first kill, or second kill, sorry, onto UAlbany as they have a 5-3 advantage. We have the teleport coming out from Omen. This is honestly quite curious. They'll teleport all the way back to Long. They have the post plant. They have the smoke. What is going on? They have the sprays. But look at these kills. They're just going to come out with a free round for AWPE Gold, and that is why you boil your hot dogs.
Don't boil your hot dogs. It doesn't even take that long to grill them. It's pretty good.
But what if you don't have a grill ready?
You better start that thing up.
Just like throw some water in a pot, throw it on the stove. Come on.
No.
As a student, if I'm in a pinch,
cold.
As a student, if I'm in a pinch, I'm throwing water on the stove, boiling, get the buns ready. I'm ready to go. That's like a 5-minute meal. Great.
I'd rather eat them cold.
It's as fast as ramen. What's like? It's convenience. If you have a party, you grill. Don't get me wrong, but like if you're just enjoying, what's wrong? What's wrong with boiled?
Hey, you know,
Chat,
you live
you
your
tell
life.
us.
Gabe one is gonna tag his own teammate, so I mean, he definitely boils his hot dogs. Going to step 4, he's picked up 1 on the Dodo, even though his teammate just tried to kill him. Larry gonna take 2 back, so he is going to kill them. A 3K for him out of hell. Rusty a trade back, flash in his hand now, and he's caught by Poisonous Tart. Sal on the flank. He's been here before. Well, not here exactly, but on the lurk, so they should have some implication that he's going to try to do such a thing again. Chamber's gonna be holding the crossfire here, and D-Song pretty postured for this one. Sal not gonna check. Why would he expect a player to be CT? Caught off guard. Currently screaming in the comms, why are you there? D-Song picked that one up easily for 8, and Army West Point suddenly finding their way back into the game with a halftime switch.
That's not about half.
No.
We can take a lot in consideration there.
That's a grill.
UAlbany was on attack. UAlbany was on attack. Someone who we saw had such a prominent attack previously over on Ascent. And correct me if I'm wrong, is Haven not attacker central? Not attacker centered or favored, attacker central.
Depending on who you are, it can be, sure, just because you have to be a little smart about defensive rotations as the third side.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So sure.
I see where you're coming from that point, but just with the rotations we've seen from the past, for AWP to snag 4 rounds where their rotates were not the best they were desired previously, that is something that I very much like to see on their side.
That dart scanned 3 early, so they know they're currently postured outside of a lobby. It's a quick scale from Army West Point. Roomba had nothing over towards sewer. Excuse me. Roomba spotted a player towards sewer. It was broken pretty early, so they know there's been a player at least top of short, but that's all they really know. And there should be a player top of short. It's the default setup. So they know, but they don't really know. Thinking about the haunt for Army West Point to come through, and now they've moved the spike over as well. So here comes that execute. Haunt's going to be out. Has not seen no aim. He's got a positioning from the bottom of the box, and will right click his life away. It's velocity, so he's picked that one up. Rest of the team to play their way outside of long now. Paranoia is coming through, and Laird people are going to take full advantage. He'll find 2 off of it, suddenly coming alive here. A 3K out of hell, and now a 2K on the pistol. He'll open up the site. He'll open up the round in the half as well. Be 1 chamber on the flank, but the trademark to spot if he wants to play into this position, but is not going to be safe by any means. And well, the KO's got everything else to do on site as well.
There's a lot to be desired from UAlbany right now. They lost a lot of the picks they were expecting to get. Perhaps too much of an overextension, not having utility to play with. Second Haunt will come out, forcing KO to be relegated into the window and just not have any options. Rusty to find Larry. Rusty is right on the spike, forcing a lot of players to rush up. Able to find one, looking for second. Not going to happen. Poison is hard to find it and rotate right on away. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Does it not make it... If the spike did detonate there, wouldn't it have made more sense to die if you only have a classic? That's just like, just as like a general pet peeve of mine. Like it's a much more of a petty thing where like, if you have the opportunity to die on pistol round, almost every single time it is worth it. You get the ult point. It does not affect your KD. I don't see the con. That's
the opening kind of good point. I didn't consider the opening was not a bad point. By any means, look at a waltz down into garage. Prowler's up and active and has the information, so they're gonna take the space. And D-Song's picked up one deep down C long as well. Those Spectre 2 taps are deadly when you hit them. They've got all that space on the split. It's gonna be Army West Point into the C site. It's a plant to go down, and this is a hard one to lose.
Oh, Gabe is going to be able to snag the pick onto Doe. That gives him the rifle. Larry able to refrag onto Gabe, so you don't have to worry about that. But there's the shorty kill. 100 health still for Interlude. But they're going to have to collect into 3 more post-plant. They have dark cover to assist them. Just looking, spraying, trying to find that little pick that will make a difference in this round. Cover will be out, but D-Song will spot them. And it will be just a matter of spraying through the wall. They'll collect onto it. And I want to highlight quickly the difference in pushing styles that we've seen from these 2 teams. AWPE Gold is going for so much more of an aggressive take, especially once they finally won their first pistol round. They were up in there. They were using their Spectres to every single capability that they could, using those long-range engagements, just making sure that UAlbany had no room for comfort, especially on that window, that first initial pick. I'm a huge fan of this, and it allowed them to have the one thing they have in this entire series, comfort. Slow push from AWPE Gold. I'm expecting them to spring out. They're using the Prowler a lot. So it's just going to be a matter of how exactly they'll swing, if they'll be able to check properly. I like that the Boombot was sent out. Jet was able to dodge, but they're going to be able to spring right onto site. 2 huge kills for no aim, looking for a third. They'll have their dash ready to go again. They grabbed the third, not able to sprint away as D-Song from behind will be able to collect onto it. UAlbany now is right back into this attacking or defending half, as they still have control of a site, and both the Chamber and Omen have to retreat to fight another day or another site.
Yeah, there's definitely time in this round. If you get a look on the spawn side of things, maybe there's opportunity, but there's nobody looking to play into it. And it's just the discipline from UAlbany to not actually take those peaks. they're thinking about playing this one, there's still time. 25 seconds of time, in fact. Can smoke their way off of heaven. They just have to clear sight, and that'll be the harder part. 0 point scan for nothing, so they do have that space, and there's the smoke, but it does not go heaven, it goes CT. So heaven player's got all the room to work with, and they're going to rain down fire. It's a pot flash in the back of the site from Rusty to pick up one, and the second as well. As Poisonous Tart's going to fall. UAlbany will find themselves the anti-bonus, a 9-6 scoreline now. It's a full gun round into this one.
I think this is going to be a deciding round, a very decisive one at that, for who has control over this half, who's going to be setting the narrative, and who's going to be off the back foot. We can see the AWPE gold will blaze right through, and I can hope for that. But on the side of UAlbany, it's quite curious. I know Jet is one alt orb away from Knife, so I think they might just go for a quick pick out towards long, but that's going to be very much contested. Dart sent out. Does look to be successful. Knives out. 6-9. Cat, I have to be completely honest. It's going to be who uses their util at the right time and to clear what. And if they are able to properly manage themselves, then I think AWPE Gold has proven that their aggression and comfortability in this round has made all the difference.
Oh. Roomba's off the angle, and won't matter. The drone's going to come through, so you do know that player's going to be close towards short. Noem's on the cross, though. Naded out of it. It's utility you've got to use for that, and we'll know him. Thanks to the dark cover, can walk straight back into that angle if they'd like to. So it does have to get re-cleared if they want to take that A split, and you see the recollection of that from our West Point. They've stepped away. Interlude. Oh, timing is not your friend there. Stepped into an off angle, and D-Song is already holding it with his crosshair, so he'll pick that one up almost for free. Rusty from the back of the site, finding that value that he always does. Had two in the last round, trying to do it again, and no one's going to swing around with his Blade Storm activated. He's going to pick up two. Dodo's got the trade on that one. Rusty still back of sight, pulls out a flash on the wrong time. Me and Poison Tart good to pick up that frag. It's a 2-on-2 when the dust settles, so the B site hold a lot easier when you're looking at this number count.
Can go either way, could come from three separate angles in this case. Dart being plotted out, trying to spot out at least one player. It's not going to work out though. Sal looking for someone on the rotate. Gabe blocked out by the dark cover. Not looking good for UAlbany. They have to find a pick. They have to find an opening, play together, talk. It looks like they're trying to cross out these angles, but they are so very isolated. They're both going to be one-on-ones, possibly two-on-ones. Swinging around looking for the Omen. Hans is going to get shot out almost immediately. Nice. Paranoia will catch both of them. Going to be able to find one. Gabe to find one. Has to sit this plant. You can't get off of it yet, but they will. And there will not be enough time. Gabe finds all the picks. But regardless, AWPE Gold will bring it 7-9.
Good timing on the swing from Dodo, recognizing that player has to have the spike there. Time so short. If I do not win the round. Recognize this is able to swing because of it. And find that frag for the player can get a gun back in their hands. So Army West Point keep things cooking. They've got the eco even. Whoever wins this one, economic control. A guaranteed second round as well. So Army West Point, they win this one. They could have things tied up at 9-9. A lot of pressure on this round, but fortunately, they've got the perfect entry ultimate, the showstopper, to start things off.
Well, they're looking to be explosive. We've seen Larry do that on multiple occasions. Boombot will go and try to clear out Garage, but they're playing rather slow. Probably going to get caught on the door, but they'll knock their way in. Of course, you got to knock before you enter. Knife also shut out, so a lot of utility being dispersed over on the side of Garage, giving a lot of awareness to UAlbany what exactly is going on. This has prompted Jet to go on the flank. Whether or not this works, this could easily catch all the players off guard. No aim swinging around, looking for the fade, possibly about to catch them off guard. They have window control now, meaning they'll get the free kill next to Garage, looking for fade, as they'll start to rotate right back down. They don't know what's going on, and that's a free pick on the side of UAlbany, and a rotate all the way back to the safety of sight, causing mass confusion amongst the attackers.
Yeah, you know what fixes that?
Flank watch?
One trademark.
Oh, that too.
One trademark outside of a lobby. That never happens. Yeah. No consideration at all on that one. D-Song will get taken out. He deserved that. That's karma for not putting the trademark down. Rusty will take him out the round. And Army West Point looking at 2 less members and absolutely no extra space taken. Fortunately for them, A-Long's been vacated, so they can walk all the way up into what should be an execute for them. It's really the only option left, and there's 15 seconds. So you want to make it, you got to do it now. It's a 4-second plan, everybody. Keep your eyes glued to that red timer, constantly ticking down. No one's going to try to shut this one down. They've got their way towards the front of side, and well, they've got time. At 5.8, it'll go down. That plant is good for sure. Hunter's Fury on its way.
Oh,
no, it's not.
No,
Gabe will
no.
shut it down. Interlude will find Poison Tart. These kills don't matter because the round's already over. UAlbany going to take it. They're up 3. They've broken the eco of Army West Point as well.
Absolutely huge play coming out there with that Sova Hunter's Fury. Oh my goodness. I want to say pinpoint accuracy, but that just comes down to good comms, good teamwork, and process of elimination. Where else are they going to plant? What we need to see from AWPE Gold, you can't just get aggressive and power your way onto site. We need to see that utility usage. That trademark is still sitting nice, comfy, and cozy in the pocketed chamber. We don't see any teleports, rendezvous ready to go. You need to be ready for those. The power could work, or it could result in your ultimate demise. Rusty to find 3. D-Song finally going to refrag with that tour de force. 4 shots left, 3 members to find. Going to see the body of Jet. There's their second. They're lit up all the way to 45 HP. Dark cover will disperse. Enemy has also been detected by the trademark. You know that they're on the flank. Thank goodness they placed it. D-Song sitting on site without spike. Gabe one also sitting comfy and cozy. They know they don't have to do anything. They know this player is trapped. What exactly D-Song has to do here is play for their utility. Have every single available resource ready to go, and it's been a rotate towards Garage. A smart play for the players of UAlbany, allowing them to play very close and together. They're just checking their corners, making sure to know exactly what to look for. Checking up to heaven, they'll be able to find one. Looking right, they won't be able to find it. They're narrowly missing it out as the defenders will take it. Sal, a huge pick.
Yeah, and that is the most important word on that monologue before the peak comes through is the third one, together. This team gets together. They were taking the look down onto what was going to be the lurk for Sal, decides to head Garage with his teammate instead. That's exactly what you want to see there, because you know that player's got the tour de force. That pseudo operator online will have the ability to take ones pretty easily. Make sure there is a refrag opportunity, and that there was. It got close at the end. The teamwork made the dream work, made the round 1. Rifles back online for Army West Point. 0 Point gonna break or suppress, I should say, this chamber pretty early. There's a second player here to help. Drone's out. Sal's got to keep his teammate alive. He's going to come back just in time. The drone will scare players away. That's the spike down. They're swinging this one. They're going for the fences. Sal to pick up a second, a third, one more perhaps, and it is not going to come through. D-Song will shut them down towards Sewer. Will get the spike away, with the damage has certainly been done. They run with tails tucked under legs. They head towards C.
Do we have to hope that they don't get complete tunnel vision going towards this side? They have to slow down. You lost more than half of your team. Roll your shoulders back. Start to consider every single variable. Great spread from UAlbany, though, where they know that they have the advantage, and they're now looking to make sure that they keep it. Having 3 players, 3 different sets of ears, listening for what's going to happen. There's a huge pick from No Aim, shutting it down all the way to 1 remaining, looking for the chamber, shooting through the box. Would have found it, but Rusty's just too quick with it, as they're going to bring it over to map and match point for UAlbany.
12-7, 1-0 in the series scoreline. This round could be it. Army West Point just had rifles. Now they're looking at Spectres across the board. Ult economy strong, and the ult usage going to need to be stronger if they want to keep this one pushing. No Aim's going to go to the top of the B site box. Will they get an early look towards mid window? Army West Point's been good about not peeking it. That same story going to be there, so nobody to catch any flackings early. An interesting double setup that's on its way down towards A long. I like this bait. The tour de force is online. Gabe shoots, so they don't know that the tour de force is going to be here. They'll think it's just the Sova, but they have seen Sal on the swing. Thank goodness they flashed that. That could have been a disaster. Army West Point will know about it. They'll head away. But now it's No Aim time. The second off online for the defensive end of things, and D-Song will catch it at just the wrong time. He'll fall on his way down the staircase in mid window. Try to scale C long in the meantime, and will the dark cover shut that look down as well?
Too suppressed. They can't find a viable route to take. AWP Gold has effectively stalled out with without making an impact on the map. The Raze is just waiting. We have so many potential ults to be used on the side of AWPE. Army West Point has to make a power play. They have to make a TSN turning point moment. Here's the null command. Gabe to find one onto Larry. There goes your entry duelist. Now down to 3, 5-on-3, 2 to force also be cooking out. That's gonna be the paranoia to hit all the players of Army West Point. The Black Knights need to find something. Spraying out. Gabe trying to find something. Poisonous to find one onto Gabe. Continue to spray out. There's a second one. Just waiting, trying to find the KO. Meanwhile, Velocity finds no aim. Now down to a 1v2. They're both blind. Spraying, looking for it, but no! It's gonna be the Molly from Rusty to end it off, and UAlbany coming out on top 7-13.
It'll be a 2-0 from the University of Albany. They take their map pick in a 13-2 stop. They're able to take away Army West Points as well when things are all said and done. A chaotic end to that matchup, but it is once again significantly stronger utility from Albany to win that one out. It's early util from them for that dark cover, for that 0-point down C long, to make sure there's not an easy allocation of space for the attacking side. They can't make an execute possible. They have to head for the hills. They go grass. They want to try to play garage. It's the Prowler's known about pretty early from the Omen and window. Dark cover immediately comes down towards the door. Can't play it any longer. I have no choice but to go towards C. They'll use that Nightfall to guarantee they've got their space into the site. It's immediate paranoia for that first frag. The rest of the team playing their way into the site. And once again, it's the improv plays coming out for Albany as well, because as soon as that chamber went down, you saw Sal on the flank get towards mid window. He kills that planter because he knows the trademark A lobby is suddenly null and void.
Great plays. I like that we saw that the Black Knights picked it up in map 2. They showed they were a lot more comfortable and they were able to start playing with a lot more aggression. It's back to the drawing board for them, however. They had a very valiant effort and we saw improvement through the 2 maps, and that's ultimately all that I'm happy to see. Whenever I'm here, if we see at least one little bit of improvement, then Army West Point, then they clearly have gotten a lesson. They could even get more out of watching this VOD if they choose to do so. But playing together and having that chemistry, those cross angles already set up, and just communicating, like, I don't know what's going on in their comms, but a very notorious one that I'll go for, even if I'm solo queuing with randoms. Cover this. If you say what angle you're covering and where you need coverage, it goes the extra mile in having every sort of resources for upcoming round. But over to UAlbany, where they had such brilliant chemistry throughout the entire series and such constructed game plans that did not account for success, but welcomed it, but expected failure and where to account for it. And I think that's ultimately what made the decision and decided the maps.
Yeah, 100%. And team, that looks good. I'd love to get inside their heads, and we'll see if we can. Potentially an interview on its way with UAlbany, but after the break, so stick around.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Skip entry level. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides. Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
You think knowledge is a powerful weapon? Here, you'll have plenty of ammo. Look to science to solve problems? Wield a microscope to confront global threats. You sometimes dream in code? Become a cyber attacker's worst nightmare. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
What do you expect from that first job out of college? Working your way up from the bottom? Instead, how does this sound? Starting in a guaranteed leadership position with people who look to you for guidance because you're trained to give it and make important decisions in critical situations. Skip entry level. Decide to lead as an Army officer. Becoming a leader is a choice not everyone wants to make. Because all eyes are on you. Calling the shots. Inspiring others to follow. In any environment. At any scale. It's not for everyone. But if you want to learn to make big decisions, start with this one. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
You think knowledge is a powerful weapon? Here, you'll have plenty of ammo. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar. I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big. Jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to. Back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents. And now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Your offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground on the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Are you the one others rally around? Inspire soldiers to follow your lead. Want to forge a better future? Start with the structures that support tomorrow's missions. You believe the best offense is a good defense. We've got a great way to prove that theory. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Are you the one others rally around? Inspire soldiers to follow your lead. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
We all got a thing. A thing that gets us out of bed, or keeps us out of it. The thing we live to do, that we do for nothing at all. But don't do it for nothing. Take it to where it means everything.
Becoming a leader is a choice. So if you want to learn to make big decisions, start with this one. Decide to lead.
What sound experience would you like today?
I'll have the fantasy pack.
Good choice.
And could you make it a Cloud 2 wireless?
On his way, sir.
Sounds amazing.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Skip entry level. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
What will you like today? Another Cloud 2 classic?
I'll stick with the usual. Maybe take a little bit off the sides.
Oh, that's fresh.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
Hey, watch your head.
You think knowledge is a powerful weapon? Here, you'll have plenty of ammo. Look to science to solve problems? Wield a microscope to confront global threats. You sometimes dream in code? Become a cyber attacker's worst nightmare. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
What do you expect from that first job out of college? Working your way up from the...
Everyone, welcome back to ECAC Esports. We have our winners joining us, or our winner, Sal, joining us from UAlbany, or the UAlbany Great Danes. They are joined now with us, and I got to be completely honest, Kat. Sal had a phenomenal performance playing both Fade on the first map and Chamber on the second, and I think they put the eye in Initiator.
Ooh, put the eye in Initiator. That's clean. That's clean. Oh, Saul. He just told you, man, role swapping is a big thing, I think, in collegiate. Talk to me about role swapping for you and your experience. Is it just because the roster needs a little bit of extra cheese, a little extra help? Or are you just that good?
So actually, for Haven, that was our first time playing it together as a team. So, yeah, usually since I'm IGLing for our team, I'm playing more like passive agents and like Fade on Ascent. We scrimmed Ascent a lot more than Haven, but
okay.
I feel like me picking Chamber for Haven was more of like a on the spot pick, and since my teammates like had more comfort in different areas, then I just slotted in nicely right there.
That's actually mad respects, and I like that you bring up the fact that you're the IGL. So I wanted to ask who the IGL for the roster was, because man, the improvisational skills are huge. Like the recognition of, well, this player's rotated here. Here's a gap. Let's make a flank possible. Are those things that you're looking for in your gameplay?
Yeah, it definitely is. It's a lot of work, and honestly, props to everyone who's IGLing for all these teams, because like it's a lot more work than it looks like. Because the thing about IGLing is that you have to be working about like what the enemy is doing on the map like all the time, and you have to be focusing on your own gameplay and your team's gameplay. So like combining those two things are very different things, I guess.
Right.
And difficult things. So yeah, props to everyone who's IGLing.
Yeah, and props to you as well. I gotta ask you, you said it was the first time this team has got to touch Haven together, which is crazy.
Yeah.
To say in the first place. But map 3, the deciding map was gonna be Pearl. I was gonna ask, is the map pool that deep? But now I got question marks if y'all haven't played Haven yet.
It is not. It's not that deep. It's not that deep.
Interesting. Well,
but if we did get to Pearl, if we did get to Pearl, I feel like we would still have a very good starting ground because what we like to do, since we don't have a lot of scrim time together and just basic team play is really all you need at the moment. We try to make up like these set defaults that we run on every map, and we improvise our strats based off of those defaults.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. Like that. Not a set in stone playstyle. The opportunity to do what you think is going to work.
Exactly.
So when you found something that worked, and I want to immediately jump onto our first map of Ascent. You're playing the Fade, you're assisting your Jet. You also have a KO that would oftentimes go mid. I love to address this mid push about what was going on. What were you communicating to your team? Were you saying we're going for mid now, push on B main, or how exactly did you account for the presence that could be lurking inside market? And what were the comms like while clearing that?
Okay, well, mid is a very important part of Ascent because it's a very split map. So like on defense side especially, you have people anchoring both sites, and it's very important for our default specifically to get mid control. And when we're getting mid control, we like to get our Jet into market and break the trip, and that means that there's no info for the enemy anywhere near that area, so we can basically keep it or fall back based on what they're doing, and then we can like control the pace of the round after that.
That's basically allowing you guys to have that deciding factor in the round, that confidence that you need. My second question regarding Ascent, and I'll move on after that shortly after, is once you had site control, it seems like every single time you guys would not let up. Was utility consumption, or were you aware of the utility usage on the other team, or was that something that you were just cautiously, okay, watch for the retake, or how exactly do you track utility usage from the other team?
Okay, well, obviously, like a lot of the time, like I just look at the top of the screen. Do they have any ults available? Or are they one away from ult? And sometimes you predict what's going to happen for site retakes off of that. But I think it's just important for like holding site in general, because once we have site, we like to set up crossfires. And usually during that entire match, when we took the site, we would have numbers. And if you have numbers, that means if you trade evenly, every round should be a win. So like using that's how we played through every single post plant, I guess.
All right, now moving on, we're going to zoom all the way ahead to Haven. You said you don't normally, like, it's the first time you've taken Chamber. No, I'm like, obviously not first time you've taken Chamber on that map, but with your team, just trying something new. Do you find that the play style of being able to properly support your team, do you think Chamber fits that play style of a hybrid sort of duelist, but you can still play back and watch the flank, grab the spike? How exactly do you feel your role changes once you change your operator, change your agent, and how you're able to IGL?
Honestly, not much, because when I was playing on Chamber on Haven, if you saw most of the rounds, I was either ulting or I was on my op. And when I'm using those guns, my job, like as my agent, is just hold one side of the map completely. And while I'm holding that, I can watch the map and watch for rotates, tell my team what to do, stuff like that. But I'm not saying that it's the best agent for an IGL to be on, because I feel like Chamber is much stronger than that. He has a lot more potential as a character. And I think that other players who can have their mind focused more on fragging and like creating that entry space for our team could be potentially more beneficial. But like I said, we didn't really have that much time to work with. So
Yeah, very fair point. And just to wrap everything up nicely in a bow, is there any shout outs that you'd like to give, any thanks to the team, or anything you want to say to your opponents moving forward? Because you guys have clearly made a statement here in week 2.
Honestly, I want to shout out every single one of my teammates. I think every new player that has joined this team this season has like a ton of potential. And I think that the further we progress into the season, the more we practice, we'll be a lot more unstoppable than we showed today.
Yeah, very well said. But on that note, Sal, I want to thank you for your time and wish your team luck going forward. I think the Great Danes are looking like a very big team, a team to look out for with great natural chemistry. I want to change. So I wasn't wrong. I just didn't elaborate enough. I wasn't wrong. Natural chemistry. So keep putting that preparation because it's clear it's paying off. It's clear that you guys have potential together. So keep working on it. I'm very excited to see where you guys go. But that is Sal from UAlbany. And that is, I think, just about it for us today, Kat.
Yeah. Very humble saw in that interview, man. Much respects to you gotta respect an IGL who's willing to give love to the teammates, but also sit there and be so analytical about why stuff worked. Not necessarily like, yeah, man, my calls are just crazy. Like, I ran the numbers, I did the math, and this is why it worked. So incredibly humble, incredibly well spoken, and well, the results spoke for themselves. So we'll see the University of Albany up 2-0 here in ECAC week number 2. Army West Point 0-2. So a hard road for them the rest of this 6 weeks here in the season to get themselves back into playoff contention. Will they make it? Well, you have to be here to find out. Tomorrow, we've got Rocket League on the way. Same time, same place. And of course, next week, it's Valorant. I've been Catinator. That's been Binks. Hopefully, we'll see you around.
Bottom. Instead, how does this sound? Starting in a guaranteed leadership position with people who look to you for guidance because you're trained to give it. And make important decisions in critical situations. Skip entry level. Decide to lead as an Army officer. Becoming a leader is a choice not everyone wants to make. Because all eyes are on you. Calling the shots. Inspiring others to follow. In any environment, at any scale. It's not for everyone, but if you want to learn to make big decisions, start with this one. Decide to lead as an Army officer.
You think knowledge is a powerful weapon? Here, you'll have plenty of ammo. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar, I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground and the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live. And I promise I'm trying to. Before you count me out, homie, let me remind you. They was blocking the shine, now I think it's my time to. Counting them dollar signs like lights, they'll blind you. Let me rewind to back when I was broke and I couldn't acquire 2 cents. And now I got 2 rents. They was sleeping on me, homie, must have got too big. Call my phone, I be like, who this? Damn right, hell yeah, I'm brand new. Smell like can too. I'm fresh forever like canned food. Try and tell me what I can't do. I wanna see the world, my vision on Shamu. That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Your offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big. I gotta make it just for my kids and for their kids' kids. That's wealth years and years. Promise my brother soon as he out and finish this bid, we finna do it bigger than anybody ever did. The odds is real big, jobs that's real big. Satan trying a little, my God is real big. Stayed up on the ground and the cars is real big. I gotta do it big, the only way that I can live.
Are you the one others rally around? Inspire soldiers to follow your lead. Want to forge a better future? Start with the structures that support tomorrow's missions. You believe the best offense is a good defense. We've got a great way to prove that theory. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
Hey man, I just can't find a comfortable headset. I mean, I've tried everything. Literally everything.
Sheesh, my brother. I got you.
The HyperX Cloud 2 Wireless. Legendary comfort goes wireless.
That is comfortable.
Are you the one others rally around? Inspire soldiers to follow your lead. Explore more than 200 careers at GoArmy.com.
We all got a thing. A thing that gets us out of bed or keeps us out of it. The thing we live to do, that we do for nothing at all. But don't do it for nothing. Take it to where it means everything.